Good afternoon. Please welcome the Penn Dental School of Medicine class of 2025.
For those of you who are sitting on stage left, this is Mark Wolf. I'm the dean. I'll be behind the podium. You can move that way if you want, but I'll keep talking over here in the meantime. So, welcome, friends, family, staff, faculty, students, and particularly the dental medicine class of 2025. My name is Mark Wolf. I'm the Morton Amsterdam Dean. I am the 12th Dean of this esteemed institution. We're gathering. Yeah. Last year, we couldn't do this. And I have to take an intermission. Not everybody here is gathering. For the safety of everybody, for the safety of children, for the safety of each individual, we made the conscious decision that only vaccinated people would be allowed inside this auditorium. So it meant sometimes we had to exclude children that belonged to some of you. We're sorry. I personally couldn't live with the thought of somebody being inside here and transmitting the disease to one of your children or one of your family members. So in an abundance of scientifically based, and we'll talk about scientifically based in a moment, scientifically based precautions, we've made the decision that it will only have vaccinated individuals inside our auditorium. And we'll talk about this in a moment. So we're gathering here, and by the way, this class sat in a brand new classroom that we had not had a full class of students sit in any classroom for the last almost 18 months. And unfortunately, things are not doing great nationally, and we're not going to dwell on it, but we'll talk a little bit on that thought. So we ask you all to maintain your mask over your mouth and nose. I won't expose people if I'm sitting next to them. I will take photos with our students without a mask if they are willing or interested in doing so, but it's only for a few seconds of exposure. Outdoors is a different story. You know, I really love gatherings like this, and normally you'll find out, you'll have to wait till graduation, but we do a really nice party. These aren't the times for parties. These are the times for us to be careful with each other and for each other. And we'll talk about that in a moment. These are, I hate the word unprecedented times, and this is an unprecedented pandemic. Well, they tell me it's a once in 100-year pandemic, once in a century, once in, and that's really good because they're getting it over with early in their education, and going forward, hopefully we don't worry about pandemic like this again. I fear that there are issues in society that will make it possible for it to occur again, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So I promise you I owe you a party. We'll figure out how to do that at some time when it is safer for all of us, and we'll celebrate today the white coat ceremony for this class. Much has changed in the past year, and as you stand ready here to enter the profession of dentistry class of 2025, I wish to reflect on some of the events over this past year because they speak to our respect of science. They speak of our need for public health. And today, you are commencing on your journey to join an honored profession, a trusted profession. You know, dentistry is the most trusted of the health professions with individuals. This trust has a tremendous burden on us. You're becoming a healthcare professional. You notice I didn't say an oral healthcare professional, because we know oral health extends well beyond just the mouth. It extends to full well-being. It extends to self-confidence. It extends for the ability for a child to smile in school. it extends. We get to do great stuff as dentists. And you'll find out over the years that I'm a great advocate for dentistry. I think it's the best profession available. But they are becoming healthcare professionals. Each of you will be expected to lead in the future. And I'll talk about the leadership, because it can be small leadership or big leadership, but you must step up to the endowment, the honor that you're getting, and lead. So remarkably, if let's take the time machine back. March 12th is when essentially we started declaring a COVID disaster, and the nation got ready for buckling down and sheltering in place and all of that. I remember it because March 12th is my birthday. Otherwise, that date would not stay in my head. Well, it probably would stay in. Never mind. We'll keep moving. By the time we got to the first week in August, we had already sheltered in place for 3 weeks. We thought that we were going to be out by Easter. We thought we were going to be out by May 1st, by June 1st. And this esteemed institution continued almost without a break, delivering urgent care and emergency care to the people of West Philadelphia and Philadelphia. By June, we stood up and started opening our clinical facilities. Our students came back. Our education program continued without skipping a beat. Our curriculum became the example for the nation on how to do online education. We shared it in 2 national symposia that had 180 educators in each of them, all done virtually. We mastered it. We got back. Our students actually got it out of school in 2020 on time. Our students in 2021 achieved more education in 2021 for that class than any class that's been in the school for the last 10 years. We figured out how to do this safely without a single transmission of disease within our walls. How did we do that? We followed the science. 1 year ago, first week of August, 5 million Americans had COVID. We thought that horrendous, the growth, the number of cases were just starting to peak, and maybe they were going to go down before the fall. 169,000 Americans had died. Worldwide, 25 million people had been infected. And things looked pretty tough. In the spring of 2021, we were being vaccinated. All of us, I remember my vaccine. I literally cried. It was a freedom. We were looking at the ability to come forward. We managed to get our entire school vaccinated in the month of January and finished in the month of February. Absolutely remarkable as we moved through that. But we have to recognize what's occurred here. Today, 35 million Americans, 30 million people more than a year ago, have been infected, with as many as 10% of them suffering from long COVID syndrome, which will have conditions we will pay for decades to come. Money that could have been used to do something else, something that could have improved the life of, has gone elsewhere. And I need to address the why. But that's not the end of it. 620,000 Americans, as of yesterday, had died of COVID disease. That's nearly 500,000 more people than a year before. Despite the fact that we have come out with vaccines, treatment has improved slightly, but not greatly. Nearly 500,000 Americans perished during this year since last August. But in the world, 202 million people have been infected, and 5 million people have died worldwide. And that's a problem, everybody. Because, if the disease is ravaging in the world, it's a 10-hour, 12-hour, 17-hour flight from anywhere to right next door. We have to figure out how to manage this worldwide. We have to figure out how to do this common sense. Yesterday, 620 Americans died of COVID-19. Why did they die? Did they have to die? Is there something that we, you, I, our profession together could have done differently? We have failed as individuals to be the smart consumers of science. We, as part of a healthcare system, we have failed to be effective representatives of science. We, as professionals, have failed to be the skilled and trusted public health communicators of the science. I'm going to briefly discuss the meaning of our oath and how it speaks to our obligation as a healthcare provider to change the world. Penn Dental Medicine is a historic school. It was made possible in part by the donation of a Philadelphia dentist who spent his career in Europe, Dr. Thomas Evans. We have a building named after him. One of our major endowments came from him after his passing. He charged Penn Dental Medicine to become a school second to none. Penn Dental Medicine proved that we are a school second to none during this pandemic. Penn Dental Medicine opened the Evans building in 1915. That was just a few years before the Spanish flu pandemic killed millions worldwide. It coincided with World War I. That pandemic hit the United States in 1918. It spread rapidly through Philadelphia when in the fall, Philadelphia decided that it was going to have a Liberty Bond parade and initiated outbreaks that took 20,000 lives within a few months. The science was really poor about how the Spanish flu was transmitted. Understand, we knew very little about disease at the turn of the century. We were just starting to understand it. As a matter of fact, the advertisements, the public health postings were "Don't spit on the street." You guys are here, and the Mutter Museum is open. It's the museum of the Philadelphia College of Physicians and Surgeons. You have to go see it. There's a great display there talking about the Spanish flu epidemic, and when you go through it, you will realize how little we as a scientific society actually knew at that particular period of time. So it was known that we should wear cloth masks, and healthcare providers and the people that picked up the bodies on the street every day wore a mask, a cloth mask. Don't spit on the street, and if you get the disease, eat lots of cucumber sandwiches, and yes, this is real, and a whiskey concoction. Didn't help the cough, didn't do anything. I think my mother still used that whiskey concoction when I was a child sick, and I wasn't around in 1918. I'm not that old. But it was remarkable how little we actually knew of the science and how little we actually managed that. Today, we understand that social distancing, wearing a mask, hand sanitizer, and, by the way, vaccines are such a well-established method of preventing the spread of life-threatening diseases. You're here to become students of science, sophisticated consumers of science, experts in public health. I'm not talking about the fact that you're going to become a researcher in a laboratory and understand something, but you need to understand how to read the science, how to find the science, how to discern the junk from the real science. And most importantly, you need to learn how to articulate it to people that don't understand it. Because if we don't do it, nobody is, and the communication ecosystem spreads junk. And the fact that you find it on the internet doesn't equal science. And you need to learn how to decipher that and then translate it for people that may not understand it. This white coat ceremony is an interesting event, and they left it buttoned just to see my dexterity. You put on the white coat, and it does some interesting things. So professionals, dentists, physicians did not always wear white coats. Actually, healthcare providers in the 1800s wore black coats. It wasn't until we got to near the 1880s that white symbolized cleanliness and purity, and people started wearing it and associating it with health instead of disease. The white coat may make you look a little thinner. People see you wearing a white doctor's coat, a white healthcare provider coat, and they instantly think you're smarter. Now, I have to tell you something about this white coat. So the truth is, we know that you're all really smart. A, because you chose Penn Dental Medicine. B, because we chose you. We didn't choose any people that aren't really smart, that aren't really capable, that can't do the science and can't understand where we're going. The coat gets us all sorts of special privilege, Maybe it improves our ability to get reservations in a restaurant. Not really, by the way. And today it's considered disgusting if you wear a white coat to the restaurant. Maybe it's a secret handshake and people respect each other. But I actually don't look at it that way. The white coat, the reason why you didn't walk in wearing it is because you haven't been entrusted and endowed by your professors and the people that will teach you with the fact that they trust that you will withhold and uphold the highest standards of a profession. And that is, in part, what the white coat stands for. The white coat ceremony is clearly a ritual, and it's a ritual that started at Columbia University, caught on over time, and has become much more common. I actually protested against white coat ceremonies in the first days of dental school. What does this class actually know about professionalism, about the massive responsibility that's going to be upon them? And then I realized part of what we do with the white coat is invite them to participate in becoming that professional and taking up that stand and actually moving forward. The responsibilities of being a professional are 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, 365 days a year. You don't get not to be a professional. This is a transition from everything that you did before. It's a transition into a great, trusted position in society. Health providers wear the white coat as if it was a tuxedo at a formal affair. But they put it on because it means something, and we want it to mean something to you. The white coat ceremony, taking an oath of professionalism, is just so important from where we go forward. It's a ritual, like placing a wedding ring on the finger of somebody that you love, that you will be faithful, that you will do certain things, that there are certain expectations. That's the white coat. People are going to know that you're an important individual, that you are smart, that you have capability, and they're going to listen to what you say. One of your parents is going to ask you, one of your significant others will ask you, like next week, this is hurting over here. What do you think it is? have the common sense to say, I don't know. But do have the common sense to show empathy and sympathy and make sure they see the right people, because those are things that you're already endowed with. Wearing the white coat says more to a patient than I follow infection control guidelines. Lister talked about those guidelines in the late 1800s. It's intended as a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, they don't associate the white coat with infection control anymore. They much more associate your scrubs with infection control. They actually associate the white coat with intelligence, with caring, with giving. That's what the white coat looks like. Wearing a white coat does say to the public that you're smart, well-educated. Wearing the white coat says to the public that you will spend your lifetime learning and staying current, that you will understand the reasons why, not just temporarily learning the answer for a test. Your patients know, because you wear the white coat, you will always use the best evidence to treat them, not the evidence you learned 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Not the stuff that, well, it works in my hands. You will use best evidence to make the decisions on how best to treat your patients. Wearing the white coat says to the public that even when you're not wearing the coat, you are a doctor. You are always a doctor. Whether you're sitting on an airplane, and that announcement comes asking for assistance, you're supposed to stand up and do it. The white coat tells the public that you're always a doctor and will be there for them. Do the right thing. Think about it. It's important. Today, it means you sacrifice some of the things you do to be social, to be with each other, to protect each other from becoming infected, to protect families from becoming infected. It is a sacrifice, but you are a professional now, and we expect you to move forward. Wearing the white coat says to the public that you're about your community, the healthcare system for everyone in the community, as well as your own profession. You have to care more, and I know you all cared. You did thousands of hours of volunteering, and you did all of this. You have to carry that for your lifetime. It's not just right now. Wearing the white coat tells the public that you always place their best interest ahead of your own personal interests, and that you practice with honesty and integrity. Wearing the white coat says to the public, you provide compassionate treatment for patients and respect their dignity and privacy. The white coat has a lot of significance in who we are. So, the oath you take today comes with some awesome expectations. Your faculty will place the white coat on you today, and they do that because they believe, in fact, they expect that you will fulfill the public expectations about who you should be as a professional. Wear the white coat with pride that it was placed by your faculty. Participating in the ceremony and putting on this white coat means that you agree to fulfill the mandates of our profession. Putting on the coat is much heavier than the fabric. It represents everything we expect our Penn graduates to be. So congratulations. It does make you look thinner. It's the only white you're allowed to wear after September. It comes with tremendous obligation personally and societally, and we are going to see to it that you fulfill that obligation. You come with a Penn Dental Medicine legacy and tattoo on you when we finish this school. We expect a lot of you. So, congratulations on this process as we move forward. Thank you. I don't know why. When I look at these kids, I get verklempt. Does anybody know what that means? A couple of people do. So I have the pleasure of introducing our speaker, Dr. Rick Rader. Dr. Rader is the director of the Morton J. Kent Habilitation Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where he serves as a medical futurist, predicting future medical problems of people with neurodevelopmental disabilities. He is cross-trained in internal medicine and medical anthropology, and has made major contributions to identifying and, even more important, resolving barriers to care for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Through an organization like the American Academy of Developmental Medicine and Dentistry, AADMD, which he helped co-found, Special Olympics, and he is on the National Council of Disability, holding up the highest standards, hoping to help individuals with disabilities. He helped develop health profession curriculums, as well as national policy on disability care, and is widely published on the topic. He's editor-in-chief of Exceptional Parent magazine. He, as editor-in-chief, I should just read instead of trying to skip through and speed along. As editor-in-chief of Exceptional Parent magazine, he is helping families understand and raise awareness about intellectual and developmental disabilities. As students will come to know, Penn Dental Medicine is committed to and is broadening its commitment to making every dental graduate competent at managing persons with disabilities. We are honored to have one of the giants in the field join us today as we commence on your new adventure in academia. Dr. Rick Rader, please.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wolf. Thank you for the opportunity to be the sole physician in the room, perhaps. I'm a little out of my element, as you can well imagine. So welcome to the class of 2025, and welcome to the parents, families, friends, and faculty. We also welcome the spirits of Pierre Fouchard, who was the father of dentistry, and Green Vardaman Black, the father of modern American dentistry. We know their spirits are here. We know they're here to guide these newbies in their quest to earn the privilege of one day being called doctor. I have both the privilege and responsibility of presiding over the Penn Dental White Coat ceremony. As a physician, whenever I am presenting to an audience, I have an obligation to provide a disclaimer, just so you know that there's no conflict of interest. So here's mine. I'm not a dentist. As a rural medical officer in Africa, I had to pull several teeth, and without any training, experience, or knowledge, it was quite harrowing. Just how sweaty my hands were only known to me. Later that afternoon, if truth be told, I buried my underwear in the bush somewhere. So, unusual for a physician to be able to say, I've pulled some teeth, and in addition, I've also had a bad toothache. And I understood why Shakespeare, in Much Ado About Nothing, remarked, there was never yet a philosopher that could endure the toothache. Not that either qualifies me as a physician to fit you for your first white coat. So perhaps I owe you an explanation of how I got here. My older brother Phil is a dentist, and way back in the 1970s, when he applied to dental school, you had to carve a piece of chalk to exact specifications as part of your entrance exam. I watched him practice for hours and was fascinated how it took shape. I thought that looked pretty interesting and thought, maybe I should go to dental school. So he gives me a piece of chalk one afternoon, a spec sheet, and a dull wooden-handled knife, and sends me on my way. A few days later, I hand him the finished product and waited while he examined it. He brought it up to his eyes, ran his fingers across one edge, and then flipped it towards me and said, go to medical school. And I did. So I became a physician because, quite frankly, I couldn't carve chalk. But I have always admired dentistry and dentists. My career has led me into the wonderful specialty of intellectual and developmental disabilities, where I learned that the number one unmet healthcare need of this marginalized and stigmatized population was oral and dental health. And I became an advocate for improving the oral health outcomes of individuals with special needs. And from across the aisle, I collaborated with dentists from the special needs arena in advocating for training, competency, and access to optimal care and optimal health for this undeserved, basically, and neglected patient population. Over 50 years ago, when I was in college, in a crowded lecture hall on the first day of organic chemistry, you could hear a pin drop. At least in those days, organic chemistry was known as the dream breaker, because that's where the pre-meds and pre-dent students were weeded out. And I heard that the professor instructed the class, look to your left and look to your right, because one of you won't be here next semester. And he was right. I was lucky I wasn't there that day because I had lacrosse practice and I never heard the warning. I don't know what would have happened if I heard that. So I want to borrow that scenario and tell you, the class of 2025, to look to your left and look to your right, because one of you will never welcome patients with disabilities into your practice. One of you will never experience the purity and rewards of treating someone who may not be able to express their appreciation for your skills and empathy or even remember your name. But I don't have to say that, because thanks to your dean and the commitment of Penn Dental, you will have the opportunity to learn what true, unadulterated, no-nonsense caring for another human being is all about. Dr. Wolf is a leader in special care dentistry, and you will have the opportunity, the privilege, and the challenge to see where you stand as a clinician, where you stand as a humanist, and a respected member of the dental community. And even if you only see a few of these exceptional patients in your practice, your skills, wisdom, prospective rewards will be elevated, fortified, and impacted beyond your imagination. To justify my being here and earn my keep, let me share a pearl with you. When I was a medical student, and right before we were brought into the clinic for the first time, one of my classmates asked our supervising professor a very insightful question. What do we tell our patients when they ask if we've ever done this on a live patient before? The professor thought for a moment and replied, tell them you've done a number of these procedures. After all, 0 is a number. Well, this response served to lighten the mood. It also touched on something very important. Patients care about how much experience their clinician has. Patients want their dentist to have done whatever they're doing a number of times. Nobody wants to be somebody's first crown, first filling, or first root canal. People trust experience, but they also want to know how much you care. Show them that the first time, every time. In the 19th century, respect for the certainty of science was in stark contrast to the quackery and mysticism of 19th century medicine. To emphasize the transition to the more scientific approach to modern medicine, physicians sought to represent themselves as scientists and began to wear the most recognizable symbol of the scientist, the white laboratory coat. This led to the more recent association of the white coat with medicine and dentistry since its continued adoption. The first white coat ceremony was held at the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons in 1933. It has been typically performed in the third year of training, which demarcated the transition from pre-sciences, basic sciences, to clinical training. It is noteworthy and also a reflection of the philosophy of Penn Dental that the white coat ceremony is held at the beginning of the first year. It demonstrates their belief that from the first day, the dental student is recognized by the faculty, the teachers, and professors that you are entering the portal that will forever change your lives. It is an acknowledgement that you have demonstrated that you have the hoped-for skills, determination, commitment, and dedication to undergo several thousand hours of arduous lectures, labs, clinics, exams, and certainly at times self-doubt. The presentation of your white coat at the earliest point in your training is a declaration by the faculty that they will respect you, support you, and mentor you over the next 4 years as you prove, hopefully, your worthiness of being called their colleague. It is also an announcement to the community that you are being groomed, earmarked, and identified as a candidate that will emerge as an ethical, competent, and compassionate doctor of dental medicine. Welcome to the profession and to the long line of graduates of the most respected dental school in the United States. Congratulations to you, your families, and to those patients, many of whom are not even yet born, who are waiting for you to introduce themselves as their doctor. Your clinical white coat has 3 pockets: I remember my white coat bulging with a reflex hammer, an otoscope, a stethoscope. That was before we realized how cool it was to have the stethoscope wrapped around your neck. We also had a pack of peanut butter crackers and dozens of index cards with handwritten notes on patient lab and pathology reports in case we got quizzed on rounds, and we did. You guys are lucky. You don't have to carry your instruments around. You'll also have electronic dental records to refer to. So what do I recommend you carry in those 3 pockets in addition to the peanut butter crackers? I hope you will fill your pockets with 3 commitments, 3 core values, and 3 reflections. Put your patients in one first. They are the reason, hopefully, why you are here in the first place. Their best interests should always dictate your treatment, your compassion, your behavior, your decisions, your ethics, and your appreciation of the respect that society will provide you. Put your profession in the second one. Dentistry has evolved into a vital and irreplaceable part of health and wellness. Put your allegiance, support, appreciation, and gratitude for your teachers in that pocket. They are, after all, the keys to the kingdom. They are the linchpin between your earning the right and privilege to wear a white coat and just having one. Your keeping true to the profession's code of ethics after you leave here is the only reward they seek. And in that last pocket, place yourself in it. Hopefully there is room in it for you to build your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your self-respect, and your self-satisfaction that hopefully you made the right choice in becoming a doctor. That you will have the health, the stamina, the drive, the unfaltering commitment to becoming the best dentist you are capable of becoming. I have a gift for you, and it doesn't need a separate pocket, but it does need a place in your life. It's small enough to carry around in your wallet, your purse, or your backpack. Essentially, it fits into a desk drawer, or taped to a bathroom mirror, or copied into your phone. My gift to you is a card. This card, and everybody here in a white coat will be getting one. You're probably sitting on it now. Let me share this gift to you. On one side is a photo of someone you need to place in a prominent part of your hippocampus. That's the pocket in your brain where memories are stored. It's a photo of DeMonte Driver, a 12-year-old boy from Maryland who developed a toothache that went untreated. They were unable to find a dentist who would treat DeMonte. His mother repeatedly heard that the amount that Medicaid would pay the dentist would not cover their expenses, and DeMonte's abscess migrated to the brain and killed him. What really killed him was neglect, indifference, and abandonment. So I urge you, I want you to look at him and pledge that you will never turn your back on someone like DeMonte. On the other side is also a gift. Over the last few years, it has become popular for individuals to create what is known as a bucket list. The name comes from the expression, kicking the bucket. It's a symbol of dying. So the bucket list is a list of things you need to do before you die. My parting gift to you is a dental bucket list. Several years ago, I started to gift these to dental students nationwide, and without any request to hear from the students, I started to receive some back to me in the mail. They were from students, obviously, who I never really met and didn't really personally know. They were from students who received the card in either white coat ceremonies or graduation speeches I had given. Some had only one box checked, others had several, and a few had every box checked. All of them had handwritten notes that said thanks on the bottom. So keep it and use it as a scorecard. I hope it becomes yellow from age and the edges worn from you holding it and seeing more and more boxes being checked and having you quietly smiling with pride as to the dentist you have become. The dentist that your teachers, faculty, and Penn Dental alumni hope you will become. Let me share with you some of the things that I hope you will check on this bucket list. As a new dentist, I am committed to treating at least one patient in my career who cannot see me, cannot hear me, cannot thank me, cannot understand me, cannot high-five me, cannot recall my name, cannot read, is at the end of their life, may not like me, is confused and scared, is someone I once stigmatized, somebody who might not be able to pay me, someone who competes in Special Olympics, someone who has lost their memory. Good luck to you and congratulations. As Dr. Wolf shared with you, one of the other hats I wear is, for the last 20 years, I've been the editor-in-chief of Exceptional Parent Magazine. It's a 50-year-old publication that basically has become the voice of the disability community. And in celebration of our 50th year, we basically selected 50 advocates and basically wanted to reward them. Let me share with you the concept of what an advocate is. All of you will become clinicians. Some of you will become researchers. Some of you will become educators. There's one thing that you all need to be, and that's an advocate. Advocate comes from the Latin advocare, meaning to add a voice. And basically, that's what you have to do and commit yourself. You have to add a voice to your patients. Some of them might not understand what that means. Some of them might not be able to speak for themselves. And you need to be an advocate among everything else. And I think that Penn Dental School has the greatest environment, the greatest opportunity to impart that opportunity, and I dare say that privilege on you. So one of the things we did is we selected from the whole world 50 what we call honored advocate heroes. And it gives me great pleasure to award the Exceptional Parent Magazine Advocate Award to Dr. Mark Wolf. Let me read this to you. Be it known to all that upon the recommendation of the Editorial Advisory Board, Exceptional Parent Magazine has selected Mark Wolf, DDS, PhD, as an honored advocate hero in recognition of the meritorious contributions to the disability community and a commitment to ensuring the acceptance, inclusion, and celebration of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rick. Hang out 1 second. Okay. Thank you. As a very small measure, it looks like it's actually a very small measure.
So much for it makes you look thinner.
Wait. We promise that you'll get the shipment of one that actually fits.
Okay.
We'd like to thank you
I've
for
heard
coming
that.
and joining us.
My pleasure.
And welcome you to the honorary Penn Dental Medicine faculty, which
great.
I do hope in the future to actually rectify that honorary portion of the discussion. Thank you so much, Rick. Before we proceed with the rest of the agenda, I have to mention another giant in the field of advocacy for persons with disabilities who is with us on this occasion. Dr. Steve Perlman, I am proud to say, is an adjunct faculty of Penn Dental Medicine. He is in our Division of Pediatric Dentistry. He's the founder of, I have to say he's actually a retired professor from another university, Boston University, but we'll accept it at that. He's now a Penn Dental Medicine faculty. He's the founder of Special Smiles, an oral health initiative for the Special Olympics athletes. He's co-founder of AADMD along with Rick. He's an advisor for the President's Committee for Persons with Intellectual Disabilities, and he has been an invaluable advisor to me and actually helped guide us so as we moved forward with our Center for Persons with Disabilities. It's absolutely incredible. The really good thing is I do have another one of these hopefully better-sized white coats to share with Rick, to share with Steve. Congratulations. Thank you. I should go back there. So Dr. Yuri Hangorski is our Associate Dean for Student Life. He is a tireless, along with his entire staff, tireless and dedicated
Thank you, Mark. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you, and we encourage you to stop in our offices. Student Affairs, we're here to support your goals and successes. So as you learn through the admission process, Penn Dental Medicine is fortunate to be located within walking distance of Penn's other 11 graduate and professional schools. Our unique campus enables us to closely collaborate in teaching, research, and community outreach in ways which are unimaginable at other dental schools. Indeed, our students and faculty work together with the schools of medicine, law, engineering, and applied science, Wharton School of Business, veterinary medicine, nursing, as well as School of Social Policy and Practice. So I hope you will be able to take advantage of this wonderful collaboration, and as you continue your journey with us, I wish you every success and best of luck. So now it's time to formally introduce and welcome the members of class of 2025. In alphabetical order, I will announce your name and the undergraduate school as you walk to the podium. I will invite 6 students at one time, and we have actually 6 faculty members who will be cloaking you. I am very proud to call them my colleagues. They represent the best that Penn has to offer, the consummate professionals and passionate student advocates. The first one is Dr. Leonard Jensen, who is an assistant professor of clinical restorative dentistry, and he's also our dental director of our community dental care center. Dr. Kelly Jordan Schutter is vice chair and professor of the Department of Basic and Translational Sciences. Dr. Neeraj Panchal, assistant professor of oral and maxillofacial surgery. Dr. Alicia Reisner-Baumann, associate director for the Care Center for Persons with Disabilities. Dr. Maria Velasco, assistant professor of the Division of Pediatric Dentistry, and Dr. Steve Perlman, clinical professor of pediatrics dentistry at Boston University. So each student will then proceed to the center stage and be congratulated by Dean Wolf while receiving the white coat. A photograph will be taken and downloaded. We welcome our new students, and even though I asked to hold the applause, I know it's not possible, but we can hold the applause to the end. So let's start with the first 6. We'll call first Hassan Akhtar, who is from the University of Sciences in Philadelphia. Alip Alip, Francis Alip from Jacksonville University. Hind Al-Jarahi from University of Massachusetts. Karam Al-Yashoa from Oakland University. And Brittany Entwi from University of Maryland. And Bianca Armand from University of Maryland. Okay, our next 6 will be Sandra Avila from University of Florida, Anas Bakli from Pennsylvania State University, Ariel Bermudez from Gonzaga University, Lauren Birch from Brandeis University, Meghana Bhatt from University of Florida, and Oleg Borisuk from University Buffalo. Madeleine Bradley from Brigham Young University, Zanzan Brink from Johns Hopkins University, Kelsey Bush from Temple University, Cameron Kassenheiser, The Ohio State University, Fiona Chan, Boston University, and Benjamin Chen from Muhlenberg College. Minchun Chen from University of California in Los Angeles, Rebecca Chen from University of Maryland, Shingen Chen from University of North Carolina, Andrew Chua from the Richard Stockton College of New Jersey, Andy Chan from Davidson College, and Kadim Colburn from Eastern University. Andrew Culver from University of Florida, Shivani Daftari from University of Southern California, Philip Delisi from University of California in Los Angeles, Emilia Dalloway from Pennsylvania State University, Stephanie Dominguez from Florida Institute of Technology, and Kendra Damotor from Ithaca College. Joshua Dvorak from University of Wisconsin, Chisholm Enikatu from University of Pittsburgh, Emily Everlith from Yale University, Jack Fan from Rice University, Stephanie Ferrari from University of Florida, and Alyssa Fishbein from Wellesley College. Lindsay Fisher from Vanderbilt University, Alexandra Fontana from Hamilton College, Stephen Fredin from University of Pennsylvania, Riley Funk from Cedarville University, Christy Gurr from University of Florida, Ginger Gerholt from Lehigh University. Nirel Gidanian from University of California in Los Angeles, Paola Gonzalez from University of Florida, Crystal Gonzalez Nunes from New York University, Simran Graywall from University of Pacific, Stephanie Grodecki from University of Georgia, Dominic Gross from Clemson University. Benjamin Grossman from Skidmore College. Shawana Geisling from University of Pittsburgh. Sarah Ha from Northeastern University. Mirabel Haddad from Muhlenberg College. Jenna Han from Emory University. Nia Hakim from University of British Columbia. Ebru Hazar from Brown University. Chelsea Herr from Harvard and William Smith Colleges. Kaylin Hudson from University of Louisville. Christopher Hudson Boyd from Catholic University of America. Megan Hang from University of Illinois Urbana, Champaign, Illinois. And Nina Aradi from University of Pittsburgh. Daniel Ayerdale from Temple University, Shivani Iyer from Virginia Polytechnic Institute, Alexandra Jean-Pierre from SUNY Farmingdale State College, Estella Jensen Roberts, University of Chicago, Catherine Zhou, Lehigh University, and Ariel Johnson from University of Florida. Neil Joshi from Rutgers University, Deborah Kang from Hope College, Stephen Kenny from Pennsylvania State University, Adrienne Kim from University of Delaware, Lauren Kim from Muhlenberg College, and Catherine King from St. Aslam College. Dana Kost from Cornell University, Priya Lakanpal from University of Richmond, Hannah Lee from University of Washington, Chai-Chang Lee from Northwestern University, Kristen Lee from Muhlenberg College, Angela Lee from Cornell University. Matthew Lee from Wake Forest University, Charlotte Lannis from Northeastern University, Brianna Lewis from New York University, Joyce Lynn from Carnegie Mellon University, Julie Liu from Michigan University at Ann Arbor, and Duana Marie Lucero at University of California, Los Angeles. Andrew McElroy from Lafayette College, Neda Majur from University of Michigan, Stefano Major, University of Florida, Trenton Marshall from University of Florida, Catherine Mason from Ohio State University, Matthew McDaniels, Western Reserve University. Bryden McGurry from Weber State University, Trishna Mohite from Wellesley College, Nyusha Mujri from York University, Marcos Moscoso from Florida International University, Sarah Mustafa from University of Virginia, and Shrigana Nadella from Biodental University of Pennsylvania. Mariah Newton from University of Michigan at Ann Arbor, Corinne Nicholas, University of Miami, Parker Norman, University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, Ryan Nosworthy, Pennsylvania State University, Sophia Alexandra Notley from University of Oklahoma, and Kiana Wachuti from Randolph-Macon College. Tani Odaimi from Stevens Institute of Technology, David Ogunlowo from sunny Stony Brook, Brenda Okonkwo from Georgia State University, Jamachi Orji from University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, Caitlin Owens from Richard Stockton College of New Jersey, and Timothy Park from University of Pittsburgh. Kyungjun Park, Emory University, Kishan Patel, Creighton University, Anisha Patel, Rutgers University, Alexis Petisani, Boston University, Sarah Pitulski, University of Pittsburgh, and Julio Solis, Dartmouth College. Pankti Rana from University of Georgia, Safa Rana from George Mason University, Vijay Rao from Muhlenberg College, Yasmin Rafai from University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Eleanor Rotamel from Ohio State University, and Andrea Riccobono from University of Florida. Patrick Rogers from University of Notre Dame, Riley Russell from University of Michigan, Hadil Saleh from University of Central Florida, Cara Sardella from St. Joseph's University, Colby Schmidt from Ohio State University, and Eleanor Schnauz from University of Notre Dame. Schroeder Alexandra from University of Maryland, Samarth Setru from University of Michigan, Fatima Shah from University of Rochester, Shreya Shah from University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, and Shivani Shah from Lehigh University, and Saloni Shah from Drexel University. Elizabeth Shalaby, University of Florida. Catherine Scola from Clemson University. Matthew Sullivan from University of South Florida. Ethan Ta from Carleton College. Jessica Tan from University of Pennsylvania. And Claudia Tang from University of California. Shiyu Sao from Villanova University. Peyton Tissiner from James Madison University. Naila Virabago from North Carolina State University. Lauren Verheiden from Santa Clara University. David Lucas Wall from Arizona State University. And Michael Walsh from Edwin College. Grace Wang from Colby College. Peyton Wine from Winnata College. Nyasha Wijadasa from Fordham University. Tanea Williams from University of Hartford. Molly Wang from University of Illinois. And Theodore Yanker from University of Pittsburgh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the class of 2025. I'm just inviting this one. This one. I'm inviting this one. Okay, it's now my pleasure and honor to invite our Associate Dean of Graduate Studies and Student Research, Dr. Ezra Shangur, to lead the Class 2025 in Penn Dental Medicine Professional Pledge. Thank you.
The class of 2025 will now recite the professional pledge found in your program. In the presence of you, their family, friends, and peers, they will publicly acknowledge the responsibilities of the profession and their willingness to assume the same. I now ask the class of 25, please rise and follow after me reciting the pledge. Please repeat each line after I have recited it. As I enter the dental medicine profession, I vow to keep this pledge and practice these stipulations. I understand that my primary responsibility is to my patients. To the best of my ability, I will embrace the highest standards of oral health care and treat all individuals under my care with respect and honesty, always placing the needs of my patients and community first above my own.
To the best of my ability, I will embrace the highest standards of oral health care, treat all individuals under my care with respect and honesty, always placing the needs of my patients and community first above my own.
I accept the responsibility to maintain my competence through the continued pursuit of new knowledge and skills in the practice of my profession.
I accept the responsibility to maintain my competence through the continued pursuit of new knowledge and skills in the practice of my profession.
I will conduct myself with integrity, treat my colleagues with respect, and wherever possible, work to advance the oral health of society.
I will conduct myself with integrity, treat my colleagues with respect, and wherever possible, work to advance the oral health of society.
I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics and codes of professionalism encountered during my dental training and beyond.
I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics and codes of professionalism encountered during my dental training and beyond.
All this I pledge with pride in Penn Dental Medicine's heritage and my commitment to the profession and the public I serve.
All this I pledge with pride in Penn Dental Medicine's heritage and my commitment to the profession and the public I serve.
Congratulations, you may be seated.
Well, we've covered a lot of distance. You know, this was actually great, seeing the faces of our dental students. It's been 18 months since actually having done that. I wish all of you health, happiness, and safety. I wish your families and all everything that is best. I can promise you, as significant others, caregivers, and everything else, that we're going to take good care of your substrate student that's in our school today, and we're going to make them the very best professional they can. I need to thank our faculty too. I need to thank you for all the distance you've traveled to be here for this ceremony. I apologize again for the lack of large catering and things like that, though our budget director thinks it's a wonderful idea. Please be safe in all you do. This concludes our white coat ceremony for 2021, for the class of 2025. Everybody, please be well, stay safe. We're going to exit outside to take photos. Unfortunately, the Annenberg will close in a few minutes. We thank you all for being here. Thank you all. Congratulations.